Testing, testing. Hello, hello, hello. All right, I checked. I think we have sound, so hopefully you guys will find me. I know we're coming on a little late, but we always do these days. This is, 12:15 is my normal time now, right? Instead of 12. Anyways, I'm Paula Montgomery from Desert Cat Creations, and I want to welcome you to our week 27 design reveal for the Bead Stash Challenge. So every Thursday we do a live design of whatever we drew the cards for on Sunday. So today we are going to make a bolo-style necklace. And in case you don't know what that is, so a bolo tie, let's see, should have had this on. It goes something like this. It's got some strings, and then, men wear them in the West a lot. So you've got your dangly strings. So it's, but you know what? You can wear necklaces that are this style. So, you can take that bolo style to be whatever you want. But my thought is it's going to have some sort of centerpiece. Okay. And it's going to have some dangles. So that's what we're making today. And I'm going to... And you know what? Sometimes these bolo ties are really pretty, and a lot of women, just wear it for a necklace. We'll leave that on for now, just for funsies, okay? So if you saw at the beginning, you may or may not have seen at the beginning, we do have, our sale is still going on through Saturday, Saturday midnight, Pacific time probably. I don't know how my, it is possible that my device counts it as Mountain Standard. Well, which should be fine. Midnight. But anyways, the code SUMMER20 is still good. 20% off all our cards, kits, and bead mixes. And now's your time to get them. Because, you know what? We will be coming up shortly on our make-along for our new kit. Our latest kit is our quail kit, and it is included in our sale. I often don't include the new kits in the sale, but with this one you get 3 quail. So this is the big one, this is the little one, and this is the medium one. So you get the crystals and the directions to make those quail. That's our newest kit, but all our older kits are on there. So just remember, we're halfway through the year. You're already seeing the Christmas and July sales. Why my hair is falling down, but anyways, so which means Thanksgiving, which means turkeys are on sale. So, anyways, all of that is available through Saturday, using code SUMMER20 or order directly from me, and I will automatically give you that 20% discount. I am selling some assembled things. Those are not included in the sale because I'm already giving you a cut on my basically my assembly charge. Okay, so that's why those are not included. Let me see if I can get this piece of hair that's driving me crazy into my Brett. There we go. It's gonna fall out. Anyways, other announcements, if you're in the Tucson area, don't forget to sign up. We will be doing our bracelets, our Desert Blooms bracelets, which you get for 2 bracelets. You get the beads and the materials for making both of these bracelets. $25. It's cheap. That includes all the instruction and everything. We'll be making them at the Freebird shop in Catalina. It's on Oracle if you're in the area, but you need to register at Freebird shop. If you're here and you're not sure about that, you can contact me and I will help you with the instructions for that. But $25, 2 hours, starts at 5:30 p.m. On the 20th of July, and we will be making these 2 bracelets there. Okay, so it's a bargain. Hope you'll join me. All right, let's get started, since I think this project may take a little bit today. So, hey Lorraine, hope you are having a great day. So let's remind everybody what we were working with today. Hopefully that's a good. So our cards we drew this week. We are making a bolo-style necklace. Sorry, showed you what a bolo tie looks like. Move that. We have to use a snap and ball clasp, which I know is in my little bowl here. Come on. All right, so a snap and ball clasp. They're also called a ball and socket clasp, or snap, blah. Anyways, it's 2 pieces. Well, obviously, clasp has to be, well, lobster clasp comes as 1 piece, but, so you have your ball piece in your socket, and I also call these snap clasps, but you just snap that ring over the top. Easy peasy, and these are pretty secure. So we are going to work that into our necklace. We have to use magenta in our design, so I've got a couple things here. I've got some magenta craft wire from Softflex, which I think I'm going to use. I've also got some magenta mix beads from Stars Beads and Beadoria. So we'll put some of those in there. And then I had one other thing. Oh, I'm going to work this in. I have this enameled cactus, which has some magenta tones in there. So I think we're going to work that in. All right, so we got magenta coming in from all sorts of directions, right? And then we had to use lava stone in our design. So I bought these, just, they were kind of silly, but they're these bright pink lava beads. I don't know, they were like $1 at the show, and I just thought they would be fun to use in something very summery and silly. So we're going to use some of those. So that's our lava stone. Okay. And it had to be designed for something for a party. I don't know. What jewelry can't be worn to a party, right? I don't have anything special that I'm doing or a particular party in mind. I will admit. So that's where we are. We're going to be very pink today. All right. Let's see what else we have in our little bowl here. So I thought I would do, I had another cactus in case I decided I liked that one better. I thought I would put some points on my, on the ends of my dangles. So I've got some bead caps for that, and some little silver spacer beads that I'm going to use. And then I thought I would create sort of a centerpiece, because, like I said, most bolo ties just have a big piece. So we're going to use this piece of pink dyed halite. Some of these are of different various sizes are in our challenge beads, which are though, I don't know if I had a big piece. Well, every bag is different, so the size of halite you get in there may be very different, but those are included on our sale. All right, so let's go ahead and I thought what I would do. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to do some wire wrapping on this, and that's where I was going to put the cactus on there, and that's where we're going to use the wire. All right, and then we'll worry about assembling the necklace once we have our centerpiece. Okay, but I'm going to go ahead and cut my beads out. Now you could make the whole thing beaded. I'm not choosing to do that today, and so we're going to do something a little different that we don't normally do. We are going to use some rubber tubing and make it look like we're doing this on leather, okay? So we'll talk about that more when we get to that step, but for the moment, let's set our cards aside, because I always don't, want those in the way. And we're going to, like I said, create something, a centerpiece out of there. And I just happened to have bought this magenta wire. You know what? It's probably from back when magenta was the color of the year. Take this thing off of here. Now I could add some magenta beads. Let's get some of these out and see what we've got. A very wide variety of things here, so we can certainly go with this darker magenta. We'll see. We're going to work with that later. All right. But for now, I want to do some wire wrapping. What gauge is the wire? So I have this in 22 gauge and 20 gauge, and we're going to try it with the 22. And I will say that this idea I have is totally in my head. Did not try anything out, so we'll see what we have to work. Sorry, dropping things. This wire seems to want to come undone, so. But anyways, we're gonna start with 22 gauge wire. And I grabbed about, I don't know, maybe 14 inches. I don't know that it matters, but, and it may be too short. But I do need to apparently straighten this wire a little so I can get it through my bead. Sometimes when you have a long bead, they drill from both sides. They do not drill straight through, so sometimes you get a little, it becomes a little difficult to get things through your bead. Okay, but that was fine. I was just apparently needed to straighten it a little bit. All right, so what I want to do is, and I'm going to go ahead and, this is going to be a little wonky. That's my professional term, okay? So I'm going to make a wrapped loop at one end of this wire. Although it's not going to be used quite the way you imagine it. So, but you'll see why we need to make this first. All right, so I'm making wrap loop. I don't want the loop to be real big, so but just going to wrap around that, okay? And I could trim this or just continue to wrap it. So we're gonna wrap it. We all know wonky, okay? You know, that's sometimes everything's an experiment, right? All right, so I want this side, I think, to be the front of my design, and I need something sort of in the middle. So I am going to just bend that there, and we're going to use that loop to connect to one side of our bolo wires, okay? So I'm just going to do some random, I want this to stick up a little bit, so I am going to wrap around it. All right. Now I need to also do some wrapping to get my my cactus on there. I don't think I need the loop that came on it, so I think we'll take that off and just work with the loop that's on the top of the charm, okay? So we're bending sideways, and I've got that there if I decide I need it. So I think, you know, I can go under actually. I don't know whether I want to go under the charm or I kind of want it, I can't decide if I want it to hold on to there firmly, but for the moment we are just going to go through the, and I'm trying to be careful so I don't kink my wire any more than is necessary. All right, so I've got it, my wire going through there. And I've got the top of my cactus, and I'm going to take this back under the back so we can try to secure it where we want it on the front. All right, so hopefully all the sloppy parts are going to be on the back, right? Now, since this should be able to move a little, all right, and I'm pulling it up from the back. Question, you know, how much wire we want showing on the front. I mean, it is pretty wire, so we certainly could. Maybe we'll go underneath there. All right. And flip this back around here. I am just making this up as we go along, guys, so bear with me. And I'm just going back up. So the question is it worth putting a wire? I think I might have to secure this down rather than have it swing around. So I think I'm going to go under the, just secure this one arm. Maybe it won't be too noticeable. All right. So now we're coming back around. So remember, we've got our loop that we want sort of in the middle, and then we're going to have to create a second loop. That's going to be, well, it's not going to be a loop though. All right. So let me tighten this down. And we do that by going under these wires and wrapping it. So see, my back isn't beautiful, but it's okay. But the front, you know, we kept most of it uncovered. It's tight enough on there. All right. So I am going to wrap once more through here. I want the upper part here. And then I am going to make like a little I want to make a small kind of clip, you know, just a circular thing that I'm going to wrap around. So I'm creating a bend there. Use my pliers to get that fairly close. All right. And then I think right where that ends, I'm going to come back through this wire again. If you get in too much of a hurry with wire wrapping, you're going to kink your wire. So take your time when you're bringing it under things or through things. All right. So I have this loop here. And I'm going to use my bail making pliers, and I am just going to fold that in. All right. Now the way I'm making this, you'll see why I'm doing that. Okay. But now I'm just going to do a little more wrapping back here just to make sure things are good and tight here. All right, I'm gonna have to set this down for a minute so I can yank on things a little better. And since I don't really want this to move, I'm gonna do a circuit through there. Now this would probably be easier with, you know, a smaller gauge wire, like 24, but I need this to be somewhat stable, this little loop I made, okay? All right, so that's gonna pull that in tight. I'm gonna push some things flat here with my pliers. And I think we'll just do a couple more wraps here and then we'll cut this off, okay? And then we're gonna review my wire tightening trick. All right, trimming that off. Let's tuck this in. I don't want to tuck, there we go. All right, so I have this loop, which is gonna go around one side of my necklace, and we have a loop here that's going to go through it. And actually I should turn that loop sideways, right? All right, now if you need to tighten up your wires, because you can see they're sticking up a little, what I do is I take a pair of pliers, and I'm going to hold things a little bit because I don't want it to get them out of shape, and then I just do a twist so you end up with a decorative little V. Now you want to kind of pay attention to which way the wire is coming from. And make sure it's not moving things. But this, you know, tightens things up nice and tight. You can do it really gently. You can do this with, you know, your flat nose wire pliers, but I find that I think it works better with needle nose in this case. So, all right, so there's our centerpiece. What do you think? Is it fun? I think it's fun. All right, now we need to assemble the necklace itself. So don't need that. Not doing any more wire wrapping. We are going to be putting it on soft flex now. All right, so I need to decide how long I want to make my necklace, so I'm just putting it around my neck and deciding how far I want it to dangle, and then I'm going to add, you know, like a couple inches because, you know, I have to do crimps and all that stuff, right? So my necklace is going to be ended up being, how much did I cut off? Let's see, they're starting, so all right, 24, what did I cut? 36. So I ended up cutting about 39 inches. Like I said, it was not a precise thing. But I think we're going to build it, you know, rather than, there's two options here, okay? So you could build it, you know, from one end to the other end, or you could build the back first, and then, then add stuff on. I think we're going to do a side first and then the other side, just because I think it'll be easier. Oh, I didn't get crimps out. Let me grab some crimps. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed. I mean, I love using my soft flex crimps here, but oof, the price of silver is really messing with my jewelry making here. So, all right, well, on this one side, I thought, let's try, oh, I'm just looking at these beads to see what I have here. All right, let's try this. You know what, I actually think I need a silver. Maybe something in silver there. Maybe these guys would work. All right. So this is going to be, we're basically designing our dangle right now, okay? And this is basically what I had in mind. I mean, I just added that bead, but as my dangle, so I think that works. So we're going to put a bead on the end to hold the stuff. Oh, actually, I need to. I want the, why am I having so much trouble here? All right, I cannot talk, but, all right, I am going to put the crimp on, then I'm going to put this. So basically my crimp will end up sitting in the cone, which, I don't know how we're going to do that on the other side though. Actually, we could do the crimp above. You know what? I think what we'll have to do is crimp it above that. So, all right, let's put this on. So we're putting our crimp on, and then we're putting our beads. And then I'm putting my cone here. Then we're going to put a bead at the end, a smaller bead, okay? And then we're gonna run this back up through the beads. So make sure your beads can all fit 2 pieces of thread through them. All right. So what I'm going to try to do is make this bead sit as close there as we can. So that ends up being the end of our little dangle. My crimp keeps wanting to bunch up there, run away. It runs away. All right. So that's what our dangle's gonna look like. All right, so there's my, can find my crimper. All right, so let's do our crimp real quick. I'm trying to do this fairly tight, so I'm getting in close, doing our ravioli. All right, so now we have an end. So now I need to make this, I want to make this look like leather. Now, unfortunately, I don't have the textured tubing, so mine's not going to look quite as fancy as if I had the textured tubing, as the textured tubing really looks like leather. But what I want to do is put a piece on that goes up to where we're going to attach this, and we can't forget our clasp either. Let's see, don't need him anymore. All right, so I'm gonna put, I guess I really did name my ruler. I was thinking I really didn't name my ruler today, but I guess I do. So I'm gonna take about 3.5 inches of tubing, and I am just guesstimating, and then I am going to slide it onto the wire, and we're just sliding it down the wire. Which is tangled. All right. So Abby over at the bead place uses a lot of rubber tubing. She has some nice stuff available. Mine, I don't know where I bought it, but anyways, there's what our dangle is going to look like. All right, and now I want to use the clasp because the clasp is going to hold everything together. So I'm going to put on one side of the clasp. It doesn't matter which one because we don't know what side this is, right? And then we are going to run it. Well, I guess we do know what side it is because we are running it through that loop we made, or the so basically it's going to look like that, dangling down. Right, now we need a long piece of tube, all right, to go around the end of the necklace. So for, what did I say? I cut 3.5 for that, and then I probably used another another 4 inches of my wire. So I need tubing to go here. So I am gonna try seeing if I can mark that with a Sharpie. See if I'll be able to. I don't know if I'll be able to see it or not. All right. And then I'm going to, what I'm going to do is measure out how much of this I need based on starting at that point where I put that. And then I want it to go all the way to here, so. All right, so that should give us our inside, or our neck, the tube that goes around our neck, right? So I am just sliding it into the tube. Now, if you buy rubber tubing, make sure you buy the hollow tubes, and it does come in many sizes. I actually have this because I use it. I've used it in the center of kumihimo. I know some of you guys don't like kumihimo. I used to do a fair amount of kumihimo when I wasn't trying to get things done quickly. This is, I must have a kink in my rubber tubing, so it's taking a little bit more to push this through. Be easier once it comes out. The other side. Come on. But as long as you're gentle, I am just gently pushing the beading wire into the tube. Try to straighten this out. You know what? I'm gonna stick my pliers on there. Maybe that'll hold it straighter. And again, we're just pushing it through. Now you could also use, and I actually didn't think about it till right now, they do make leather with hollow centers that you can put on like memory wire, things like that. And I do have some of that. That would work really well with a style like this. And again, I am just pushing this. It's a fairly long piece of tubing, so. I guess if you, all right, it finally came out the other end. Yay, so now I can do this more quickly. All right, so let's see what this looks like. Right here, I have the tubing on one side, and we had to have a break in the tube because we have the clasp, but we also want the centerpiece to just sit there, right? So now I want to put the other I'm putting the other half of the clasp on there because that should be what goes behind there. And now we need a piece of tubing this size. Okay, so we've got that, and now we just need to build our other dangle. Okay, so we start with the crimp. And we have our spacer bead of this big guy. And our cone. And our small bead. All right. Does look like I have extra. That's all right. All right, and now I am just going to feed my wire back up. So you want it to not go through this bead, but you want it to go through all the other beads. Come on. And it is going to have to go through all these because remember, we're crimping up top here, so. All right, so now I need to tighten everything up towards the rubber tubing. Now, you know, the rubber tubing can flex a little bit. So we will be able to get to our crimp bead. And once you have it tight, you know, if you wanted, you could just slide the extra into the rubber, and I'll do that once I do my crimp. But I want to make sure that I don't have a bunch of wire showing, because I don't have wire showing on the other side. So make sure it's all right. I think we're good. Now we're going to do our crimp here. And always make sure it's centered. And sideways, and then just tighten that up. Now you could use a regular crimp and a crimp cover. I would probably put a crimp cover using this design. And I'm not going to put the whole thing up, but I am going to trim that, and then I'm going to just push it up into the tube, just again for a little safety. You can use your pliers to help you since there's a bend there. And then slide that down. All right. So let's look at what we've got here. So the idea is, so this part goes around your neck. We've got our centerpiece here. It's connected on the one side. So what I would do then is slide the other side into this little hook I made. And to secure it together, make sure it doesn't slide or fall off. We use that. I guess I did put the, I didn't, never mind. And then our clasp is going to hold it as we put it on our neck. So, you know, if you have troubles getting things around your neck, you can use the clasp to open it up. If this is big enough, you can just stick it over your neck, which it is not big enough. So, all right, so I'm going to undo this clasp. And take that out. And let me take this other one off. And then we'll show how to put it on, all right? So that was a interesting design. Okay, so we've got this. So I've got this there. I am going to slide my tube into the little hook I made, and then I am going to connect the clasp. This may be one of those that's easier to do without trying to look at it because it's so close to my face. All right, let me back up. So that's what it looks like when I'm wearing it. So we've got, you know, it looks like I have a leather piece on. We've got the centerpiece, and we've got our dangles with the points. That was fun. I actually think it came out the way I was envisioning. So, see, you never know what you'll find in your stash. I don't know what made me think of the rubber, but anyways, fun. And now we've got a little bolo. We have our magenta in multiple places. We've got our lava stone, got our bolo-style, and I think, you know, I think you could wear that to, you know, a garden party, or, you know, just anywhere you're going to wear pink, right? How about a party for a gender reveal party? Because we did the pink. I don't know. Just kidding. And we used our clasp. So, anyways, there we go. That was something new and totally different and unexpected today. So, I had fun with that. I hope you had fun with that. I will be back on Sunday for whatever this week's bonus project will be at noon. Hopefully, soccer will be over, so soccer won't interfere. I know soccer's getting ready to start soon, wherever you are, but and we'll draw for our week 28 project. And like I said, don't forget our 20% off sale goes through Sunday. If you need any kits or beads or cards, now is a great time to get them. So stay safe. If you're in one of those really hot places, we're pretty hot today. Stay cool, stay inside, do some beading, enjoy your air conditioning, and we're hoping for some rain later anyway. So, all right, I hope you guys all have a great weekend. I am going to go watch the World Cup. I don't normally watch soccer, but I do during the Olympics and during the World Cup. Since it's on my time zone, it's a lot easier this time. So, all right, we will see you all on Sunday. Have a great weekend. Bye.